Individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
Every day I'm working on that case. Every day we're figuring something out. Every day we're talking to investigators. And that's essentially what Alex did on this case.
Stay in your seats. Tony Buzbee, the celebrity, just caused the Diddy courtroom drama to blow up. Nobody anticipated that the high-profile lawyer spearheading the case against the music tycoon would abruptly withdraw from it. Everyone wonders what actually occurred as the warrior unexpectedly left what may have been the most scandalous case of the decade, leaving scores of alleged victims wondering if they would ever...
Because whether it's a real lawsuit or something that you're just shooting to see if you can get some money, you can sue anybody for anything. But the sad thing about it is if the person loses that...
The news came in like a meteor shower. Tony Buzbee is renowned for his fierce demeanor in court and for more than a year. Buzbee was the fearless face of this massive legal battle, making headlines with his fiery statements and bold accusations. Now, with the trial approaching, he has simply disappeared from the case. Take no prisoners. Legal style wasn't just representing a handful of people. He was fighting for over 120 men and women who claimed they suffered unspeakable treatment at Diddy's hands. A little lapse turned into a major catastrophe when Buzbee withdrew because he was not permitted to practice law in the Southern District of New York, which is the precise jurisdiction for Diddy's case. When the judge sought answers, Buzbee chose to step aside rather than fight, claiming that it was a mistake in judgment. He apologized for detracting from the victim's right to justice, but harm had already been done, even though he had told his colleagues that they would pursue the case because the captain had abandoned the ship in hazardous circumstances.
For me, I was going to ask you what your predictions is. For me, if Jay-Z is successful at what he's doing right now, this is going to set a principle for a lot of people.
Buzbee's departure had instantaneous and catastrophic fallout, starting with enormous shockwaves. Without Buzbee, the prosecution appeared weak and vulnerable, as if someone had pulled the foundation out from under a massive legal case. And Diddy's legal team, oh honey, jumped right in. Buzbee wasn't just another lawyer though. He was the brilliant mastermind, the strategic genius, with the charisma and influence to take on someone as powerful as Diddy.
Sort of retracted the allegations she made against Diddy, but according to this, she never made them against Jay-Z without the prodding of Buzbee. This is a pretty devastating document if it's true.
It's interesting now because Jay-Z obviously is going after Tony Buzbee and could decimate him because Jay-Z does have a lot of money. They were right about that.
After months of defending Diddy, Diddy's attorneys spotted their chance and framed him right away. Buzbee's departure was evidence that the case was unraveling, casting doubt on the prosecution's credibility as they smirked and planned their next course of action behind closed doors. According to reports, Diddy's camp was a joyous place where everyone welcomed Buzbee's departure as the moment when power drastically changed in their favor. After months of relentless pressure, they now saw a way to either deal on favorable terms or completely destroy the case.
Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
No one wants him.
But let's not forget that the victims are the ones who are actually going through this. Buzbee's departure wasn't only heartbreaking and disappointing because many people came forward, especially because of his reputation. They trusted Buzbee to raise their voices and fight for them in a way that no one else could. And now that he's gone, they're left wondering if justice will ever be served and if their stories will ever be heard. I can't even begin to imagine how betrayed.
But the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face them.
Following the shocking statement, responses flooded in from all legal sources. Experts engaged in a heated argument. Some claimed that Buzbee's absence may ruin the prosecution's prospects in the fallout. Others adopted a more balanced stance, arguing that the case's strength would eventually decide its outcome. But there is no doubting the significant symbolic significance of his departure. As the shock subsided, the prosecution rushed to gather the remaining lawyers required to demonstrate that the case wasn't dependent on Buzbee alone and reassure everyone that the fight for accountability would continue with the trial date approaching and the stakes sky high. Rumors circulated about why Buzbee missed such an important detail, suggesting that it was an innocent mistake or something darker, and some whispered about conspiracy theories suggesting powerful forces orchestrated his withdrawal.
Some interesting stories. We're going to lead off with what's going on in that Jay-Z case, which we thought went away. We thought the woman who accused him of with Diddy after the VMAs, I believe back in 2000, had dismissed her case, and you thought it would just go away.
The timing couldn't have been more ideal for Diddy. With fresh accusations, it seemed like the walls were closing in. While public opinion remained sharply divided, the real battle would take place in the courtroom. And the drama surrounding Buzbee's departure was only getting started. The ripple effects would continue to influence not just this case, but the larger story of accountability in the entertainment industry as tensions mounted. As all eyes turned to the interconnected legal battles looming on the horizon, bringing in even bigger names and raising even more explosive questions, this unexpected twist offered a glimpse.
So, remember, the woman who sued as a Jane Doe dismissed her lawsuit with prejudice. She said, I will not be refiling this, but a dismissal with prejudice is just that. It's a document that says, I dismissed this lawsuit. It says nothing else. It doesn't say I lied about the claims. It doesn't say anything. It just says...
However, Diddy wasn't the only one rocked by the disarray caused by Tony Buzbee's abrupt departure. It sent enormous waves through a network of related court cases that are bringing in other big personalities, such as, wait for it, Jay-Z. Yes, you read correctly. What began as a single case against Diddy has grown into a complex web of lawsuits and accusations that could fundamentally alter the rules for accountability in the entertainment industry. At the center of this storm are two of the biggest moguls in hip-hop, both of whom are frantically attempting to salvage their reputations in courtrooms that seem to be getting more chaotic by the day. Diddy and Jay-Z's relationship goes beyond their shared history in the music industry. It also involves overlapping accusations and legal tactics that have drawn them both into this whirlwind of controversy. When Jay-Z was named as a defendant in one of the lawsuits related to Diddy, it was claimed that the two men were involved in an incident that allegedly happened decades ago. The accusations were extremely explosive, and even though Jay-Z has vehemently denied everything, the mere fact that his name was associated with such claims sent shockwaves through his entire camp.
Because, obviously this civil suit was coming for a while, and there was some talk between Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas.
What is F? What's most intriguing is how Tony Buzbee was involved in all of this before his abrupt departure from Diddy's case. Buzbee was also a part of the legal battle against Jay-Z. In fact, Jay-Z went so far as to sue Buzbee for defamation, claiming that he had made careless, spiteful statements that had harmed his reputation. Jay-Z's team didn't mince words when they said that Buzbee was more interested in making headlines than finding the truth. Here's the shocking revelation they made. Buzbee essentially accused him of abusing the legal system for his benefit by pushing these claims to obtain cash settlements.
Yourself up to some negligence claims. Again, I don't know if Jay-Z is going to go that far, but certainly I think it does open himself up to some negligence claims. Maybe that was part of the reason why he dismissed with prejudice.
But it becomes more juicy. Private investigators were called in for Jay-Z's case and sworn major inconsistencies, such as an alleged incident at a music awards after party where Jay-Z's team proved he wasn't even present in one lawsuit, where a plaintiff withdrew her claims, citing safety concerns, but insisted her story was true, and statements alleging the accusations were purposefully made up to extort money. According to Jay-Z's team, her departure demonstrated that the accusations were unfounded, but the accusations' lingering effect maintained the matter in the public eye.
Walked away, got no money,
got nothing.
Over.
And Jay-Z celebrated that, the fact that...
We should say, and it was filed by the lawyer who was filed.
The fact that these cases have gotten so intricately entwined, not only legally, but also in everybody's imagination, two of the most well-known names in the world are Diddy and Jay-Z, and for years, their reputations have been essential to their companies, making them look like untouchable idols. They went beyond music to become influential figures in culture, but they are currently battling issues that might fundamentally alter how the public perceives them. and possibly even how they view themselves. Since his arrest last year, Diddy has been facing a barrage of accusations that go far beyond the original claims. Each new case that has been filed is more shocking than the one before it, and the accusations paint a troubling picture of someone who allegedly abused power and influence, creating an environment where intimidation and harm were purportedly tools of control. Naturally, Diddy's legal team has denied any wrongdoing, claiming the accusations are unfounded and pledging to defend them in court.
The defense attorney's reason for quitting wasn't really a reason at all, making his departure a lot more troubling.
The evidence against Diddy continues to grow, ranging from alarming footage to incriminating, despite Diddy's team's accusations that the 2016 video was edited. The most startling testimony is CNN surveillance film that purports to show a violent confrontation with ex-girlfriend friend Cassie Ventura. While police have raided Diddy's houses and seized evidence, Cassie's attorney denied allegations of doctoring and expressed complete confidence that it would stand up in court. Both sides are preparing for a titanic struggle. Jay-Z has adopted the opposite strategy, aggressively pursuing defamation lawsuits against accusers. This dangerous tactic makes it very evident that untrue statements will not be accepted. But it may backfire if fresh information becomes available. Jay-Z is confident and committed to getting his name cleared.
Last hour when we left off, you had asked me did Tony Buzbee respond to Jay-Z? Yes. And he did. So
Numerous more identities have been drawn into these proceedings, resulting in a complex web of court disputes between former associates of business partners. The list continues to expand. Some businesses have pulled away, while others quietly observe from the sidelines. What's even more concerning are rumors of enablers, profile people who allegedly ignored or actively participated, which indicate that some of the biggest names in entertainment may soon have to deal with awkward questions. The possibility that this scandal may involve more than just Diddy and Jay-Z has caused significant anxiety in the industry, fueling the flames. According to reports, several of Diddy's former bodyguards and employees have been subpoenaed. These once reliable insiders could offer damning testimony or bolster his claims of innocence, with giant stakes for everyone involved.
not because we want to shake you down, but because you tried to scare my client, so she wants to come out swinging too. She's not backing down.
Legal professionals are in disbelief at this unique circumstance, which involves cases spanning years of claimed occurrences and multiple. It is almost rare for jurisdictions and such well-known defendants to occur. Even seasoned lawyers are in awe of the intricate legal tactics. This is not only a legal dispute, but also a public relations conflict and struggle for survival with rising stakes. The fundamental reality that is becoming apparent is that this is about power systems that allow some individuals to function unchecked for years. It's about the bravery of those who come out and an industry that has been accused of ignoring the will Diddy's team undermine the evidence. Will Jay-Z's defamation lawsuits quiet or encourage further allegations? And will those who risk everything be heard or drowned out by strong defense teams? Behavior in the upcoming months will be crucial. Let us know what you think and keep